Avoiding yoga due to wrist or shoulder pain, this class is going to focus primarily on your lower body so that you can still stay active, flexible, and even work on strength. Let's get started. We'll begin in a child's pose towards the back of your mat. If your shoulders feel okay today, you can stretch your arms out in front of you. Otherwise, you'll take what's known as embryo pose, where you'll release the arms behind you and just let the shoulders naturally relax. We'll take a few breaths here, just centering, tuning into your body. Set an intention for your practice, perhaps focused on things that come to mind when you think of lower body, the strength and stability it provides. One more mindful breath here. Lift your forehead up, come onto your forearms into Sphinx pose. Elbows right underneath your shoulders, and just warm up your back body here by pulling your chest forward, stretch your front body, and point your right foot and bend your leg and straighten it. Bend and straighten, bend and straighten, and just switch sides. So we're just warming up our back body a little bit, the hamstrings, the glutes, while stretching our quads and front body. Last one here. Come all the way down onto your belly. Move your hands alongside your rib cage, but float them up. So we'll do a no hands cobra pose. Bring your shoulder blades in towards the spine and try to lift your chest off of the mat. Holding here, keep your feet grounded on the mat and release down. We'll bring our arms alongside our body. Take a moment to roll your thighs in. On your next inhale, we'll take locust pose. Inhale, lift your chest, this time your legs. Again, creating some strength in our back body. One more breath here. And we'll return to that Sphinx pose to push the hips back, walk back until you're sitting on your heels. We'll take some kneeling cat-cows here. So bring your arms into a 90-degree angle. As you inhale, open your chest. And as you exhale, close. Inhale, your pelvis tilts forward. Chest stretches. Exhale, flex, bring everything in. Keep it going here, inhaling and exhale. Inhale, this time you'll lift the hips. Your right hand can come to the back of your right thigh, maybe even your heel, and we're just taking a side bend, the left side, and slightly leaning back, and then set the hips down and you'll switch sides. So just flowing a little bit here, getting a nice stretch of your front body. Engage your glutes. Next time you get to the left side, you'll land the hips down. Curl your toes under. I know this can be an intense stretch, so if it's too much, just skip this, and you'll meet us to stand here. Place your hands out in front of you, palms down. We're going to send our weight back to our heels and see if we can come up to stand without using our hands. Of course, if you need to just stand as needed, please do that. And we'll release the hands. So you're standing nice and tall in mountain pose. Ground your feet down, reach the crown of your head up. On an inhale, both arms reach up. Shift your weight to your left foot and take stork pose. So balancing here, our right knee bends. We'll bring the hands to prayer or hands on hips, whatever feels good for you. We'll take some standing hip circles as we swing the right knee out to the right and then internally rotate the leg as the foot and knee comes behind you. And then we'll go back the way we came. So knee goes out to the side. If at any point you lose your balance, it is okay. Just get back in. You can also go to a wall for support. Staring at a spot on the floor that's not moving also helps with balance. Okay, come back to your stork pose, straighten out your leg, land it out in front of you, hands come to hips. You'll bend your left leg and flex your right foot. So you're getting a stretch of your calf and your Achilles heel as you slowly hinge over. So it's not about reaching our toes here, just allowing a nice stretch through the back of the right leg. Couple more breaths. Now we'll step into the right foot, shift your weight to the right foot, and we're switching sides. So take those hip circles now with the left knee going to the left, swing it behind you, out to the left and forward. Again, use a wall if needed. Staring at a spot on the floor helps find your balance. One more round here. You got this. Stay nice and steady with your breath. Left knee comes out to the left, hand comes to hip. Straighten out your left leg. Place your foot. Right knee bends, left foot flexes, and you're taking a gentle hinge through the hips here as we warm up. Stretch the back of your left leg. Deep breaths. Keep leaning your hips back. We'll step our left foot down, step the right foot to meet the left. You're at the front of your mat in mountain pose. Heel toe your feet together, reach your arms up, bend your knees for chair pose. Any shoulder pain here, you can widen the arms wide or simply bring your hands to prayer. Keep letting the hips lower down. Feel that heat in your legs. 2 more breaths here. Shift your weight to your right foot, tilt forward as you take your left foot back here, slowly land in a high crescent lunge. So feet hips distance apart, hips point forward, arms reach up. Pull your left heel back as you bend deeply into your front leg. So really focusing on our legs today. Deep breaths. And we'll add some dynamic movement here as we bend the elbows, bend the back knee, and inhale, pump back up. And going down and up and down and up and down and up. Spin your back heel so the sole of the foot is down into a warrior 1 position. Continue to bend deeply through your front knee and exhale, fly your hands back. Stay nice and active here, so don't dump the chest on the right thigh. Keep those shoulder blades drawing in towards the spine. Peel your back heel off the mat and launch forward back into your chair pose. Arms can reach up or hands at prayer. And exhale back through our mountain pose. Feel all that heat we're generating in our body by just focusing on our lower body. Switch sides. Arms up, chair pose, or hands in prayer. So honor your body and your practice, whatever you need today. 2 more breaths. Be challenged. Shift the weight to your left foot as slowly as you can. So you can feel those eccentric contractions of the muscles in the left leg as they're resisting stepping back with the right foot. Come up to your high crescent lunge. Feet hips distance apart for better balance and stability. Now pull your right heel back as you deepen into your left leg. So really taking a deep lunge here. Breathing in and out through your nose. And we'll add that dynamic movement as we bend our back leg and lift back up and continue on down and up and down and up. Last one here. Good, and we'll place the sole of the back foot down. The back foot is turned in, like a 45-degree angle here into our warrior 1. And you're continuing to lunge through your front knee. Now strength in your core muscles here as you hinge the torso over and resist dumping into the left leg. Peel your back heel off the mat. Little baby steps or one big step as you land in your chair pose at the front. We'll come all the way up and neutralize in our mountain pose. Take a breath in through your nose. Let it out through the mouth this time. Good. Feel all that good energy and heat you're creating in your body. We'll shift our weight to our right foot again. Take stork pose with our left. Swing the left knee out to the side, and we'll widen it out into warrior two. So again, get a nice long stance so we can challenge our legs today. Breathing in and out through your nose, gaze past your middle front finger. Now we'll take some more dynamic movements here as we open up into the hip joint. So you'll start to pivot your feet as you bend the back leg just halfway down into like a baby skandasana, and you're on your right heel. And then go back into warrior two. So that's our movement here. Little mini flow here. Follow your own breath and go at your own pace. Do this several times. Straighten your front leg, heel toe your back foot in, and then reach the right arm forward. We're lengthening through our side body as we come into our triangle pose. Don't worry about touching the floor here. You can just place the hand somewhere on the shin, and we'll hold here for 3 to 4 breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Anytime you're feeling imbalance, shift your gaze to the floor. Otherwise, we'll turn our gaze upward. From here, bring your left hand on your hip, look down at the floor, bend your right leg, coming into half moon pose. So we'll prop ourselves up on our right fingertips for a moment, but you want to be really light on that hand. So once you find your half moon pose, left hip stacks on top of right. We're going to play with no hands here. Shift your weight back into the right heel so much that this right hand feels like it could float. Now you've got the floor there to catch you, just playing with balance here. And ultimately, we're going to land in star pose. So you'll go wide on your mat. Here, we'll bring our heels in, cactus out the arms, and bend your knees for goddess pose. I'm feeling a lot of heat in my body. I hope you are too. Working the lower body really does generate a lot of heat and stability and strength. Okay, a couple more breaths here. Continue to widen the knees behind you. Bring your hips a little bit lower. And from here, we'll come back through our star position and switch sides. So turning to the back of our mat, bend your front knee, coming into that warrior two. Hip joint is opening here. Find strength here through the legs. Let those legs feel challenged. Straighten your left leg as you pivot towards the front of the mat to that baby skandasana. So the right knee is pointing out to the right, and then transitioning back through your warrior two. Little micro movements here. So we pivot through the feet and the hips. Going at your own pace. Next time you get to your warrior two, straighten your front leg. We'll narrow our stance by bringing your back foot in, get long through the spine, and then lean forward here. So your torso is ideally right over your left leg. Turn the chest to the side. And we'll continue to breathe about 4 to 5 breaths. In through the nose, out through the nose. Bring your right hand to your hip, look down at your left foot, bend your left knee, launch into your half moon pose. So your right hip is open and stacked on top of your left. Send your weight to your left heel. See if you could float your left arm and hand to your chest. Remember, the floor is there to catch you. And we'll land in our star position. And we'll set up for wide leg forward fold. We can bring the hands to the hips, but we still want to keep the chest nice and open, shoulder blades on the back. Hinge through your hip joint here as you slowly fold, working your way down to a 90-degree angle, and then allowing your spine here to flex in this folded position. You can release your hands down now. And release here, release the shoulders, release your jaw, release anything you're holding on to. And let the heat that you cultivated in the legs and the strength, let that help to access a deeper stretch here through the backs of the legs. Couple more breaths. Keep your quadriceps engaged. Press down through the soles of your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. We'll go deeper into those Skandasanas. So you'll pivot your right foot to the front here. The right leg is straight, left knee is bent. We can have our hands in prayer or open up the arms. If the heel is not down on the mat, that's okay. You can use your hands to help stabilize yourself. And we'll move through a very low squat there and transition to the next side. Again, use your hands if needed. Hands can be in prayer, or if it feels okay in the shoulders, you can open them. Chest is turning to the left. Good. We'll pivot to the front of our mat. Take a big step forward of the left foot. Feet hips distance apart, and we'll take a forward fold. Feel free to bend your knees as much as needed here. And we'll roll up one vertebra at a time, coming all the way into our mountain pose. Shift your weight to your right foot. Take that stork pose again. Widen your left knee out to the left, and we'll work into tree pose. So you can ground the toes down, bring them on your shin, or bring the foot all the way to the inner right thigh. Press foot into thigh, thigh into foot to keep the foot from slipping down, and firm your outer hips in towards the midline of your body. Hands can be in prayer if you're resting your shoulders today. You could also create a V-like shape with the hands or the arms. Remember to gaze at something that's not moving. And we'll bring the hands back to prayer, pivot the knee, and shake out the legs a little bit. We're just going to switch sides. Weight shifts to our left foot. Take that stork pose. Widen the right knee out to the right. Take your version of tree pose. Find your balance. Steady your breath. If you fall out, it's okay. Just get back in and modify as needed. And as you're ready, knee pivots to the front, release your foot, and neutralize here in our mountain pose. Shift your weight to your right foot, hover your left foot, begin to hinge forward, and we'll take some Shiva squats here. So the right knee will stay bent, and we'll take that left leg behind the right knee, and then straighten it as you kick it back. So behind and straighten. And we'll take a big step back for our pyramid pose. We're going to stay active in our pyramid pose. So we'll reach the arms up and hinge through the hip joint. And I want you to fly your arms behind you rather than landing them on the ground. And we'll stay at this 90-degree angle here, holding as you tack your right hip back. Inhale, reach your arms up, launch off your back foot. We're coming into warrior three. So your hands can be at prayer if that feels better in your shoulders. And we'll inhale and release back to our mountain pose, and we'll switch sides. So weight shifts to our left foot, taking those Shiva squats where the right knee goes behind the left and then kicks back behind you. Behind the left, kick it back. Couple more. Nice and slowly step the right foot back. Inhale, reach your arms up. Chest and hips are facing forward. Exhale, fly your hands back. Keep tacking your left hip back. Nice active stretch here. Inhale, arms reach up. Power off your back leg and hinge forward into your warrior three. Outer right hip stays closed. Stay with me. And we'll inhale, arms reach up, and exhale back to our mountain pose. Each time feeling more stable here in our mountain pose, more length through the spine, more heat in your body. Let's heel toe your feet out a little bit wider. Heels will come in. We're going to lower slowly, mindfully into our yogi squat. So nestle your arms inside your legs if possible, and then press the backs of the arms into the legs to lengthen your spine. If the heels are raised, that's okay. And we'll softly lower our seat down and prepare for boat pose, Navasana here. As we tiptoe the feet back and hug the thighs into the chest, we'll do this first round with our arms behind the legs here. So we'll start with the legs bent, lift your chest up, and option to straighten out the legs. So the hands are here just supporting you. And we'll release. Feel free to lean back, windshield wiper those legs side to side. And we'll go for a round two. So you can take the hand option there to support the backs of the legs, or this time palms face upward. Knees can be bent or straighten out the legs by engaging the quadriceps. Couple more breaths. Using those strong hip flexors to pull the thighs in towards the chest. Nice, and we'll release down. Let's set the hips all the way behind us. You can separate your feet a little bit. We'll flex the feet, reach the arms up. We're taking a forward fold. So if you want, you can take a soft bend in the knees here. And we're going to rest the hands wherever they lay on your mat. As your hamstrings and back body starts to open, if it feels okay to straighten out those legs, you can do that, but stay nice and active through your quadriceps. And the more you flex the feet, the more you'll stretch your calves and Achilles tendons. Deep breaths. Good. We'll inhale, lift on up. We'll take wide leg forward fold now. I'm going to turn wide on my mat. And we'll bring our hands to our hips here. And remember, you can always sit up on a blanket if your low back is rounding. And we're going to tilt the pelvis forward and then tilt it back. So getting some hip mobility here as we move through these two motions. The next time you're tipping it forward, go as far as you can, and then you can bring your forearms down to the mat. And we'll fold here in our wide leg forward fold. Deep breaths. So pointing the feet will stretch the front of the shins and the tops of the feet. So I like to do both, depending on what I need in my body. Release your jaw here, release any tension. Inhale, lift up, start to walk your hands back, and we'll add on a side bend to stretch those lower back muscles. So we'll turn actually our chest to the left leg first. So we've got a little gentle twist here, and then take a big sweep of your left arm over the right leg. Keep turning your chest to the side, gaze upward. You can see I'm using my right elbow, pressing it against my right leg to help me open up. Inhale, come back up, and we'll switch. So rotate your chest to your right leg, start to hinge over. If the forearm or hand lands wherever you are is just fine. And again, I'm giving myself my own adjustment here by widening, by pressing into the left leg. Right arm reaches up, or a nice side bend. Stay active through your legs. Keep turning the chest. And we'll inhale up. Swing your left leg towards the front of the mat. We'll slowly make our way down onto our backs. Bring your palms up, scoop everything under here. We'll softly land into a hollow body shape. Keep the core nice and engaged, and then we'll release down. From here, bend your legs, setting up for bridge pose. So heels right underneath knees, knees hips distance apart. Bring your arms so that they're along your side body, and press the backs of the arms into the mat and lift your chest up. So opening your thoracic spine here to start. Now push your feet into the mat. Use those strong legs and glutes to lift the hips up. If you want, you can stay right here. If you want, you can also go a little bit deeper by digging the shoulders, clasping the hands, if that feels okay. And we're getting a nice stretch through your chest, I'm hoping. Press the heels down into the mat. Use the glutes, lift the pelvis up. And we'll slowly release on down. Just let the knees knock in, feet wide. And we'll bring our right knee up towards the chest and externally rotate it so you're bringing the right knee wide here for a figure four. And we'll take reclined pigeon now as we pull the left thigh in. Keep widening your right knee to the right. And if it feels good, we could play with straightening our left leg. Couple more breaths. Now bend your left leg and take that right foot all the way down to the ground. So it looks something like this. Your right knee is bent and lifted. You can take your left hand to your right leg and actually push it away a little bit. So getting some decompression there in the hip joint. We'll release and switch sides. So hook your left ankle for your pigeon prep, reclined pigeon. Thread your hands through, catch the right thigh. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed here, your jaw is relaxed. As we come into these deep stretches, we want the nervous system to feel safe and not stressed out. Let your breath deepen and slow down. We'll add on a straightened right leg if that feels okay. Continue to widen your left knee to the left. Bend your right leg. We're taking our right foot down, and then the left foot is going to land on the floor to the right. Looks something like this. And the right hand can come and help open up and release some tension in the left hip. Deep breaths. We'll release that. You can bring your knees nice and wide as you hug them in and just rock on your back here. And finally, we'll take our happy baby pose. You can grab a yogi toe lock or outer edges of the feet or even the ankles. Let your knees just move wide, and if it feels good, you could rock side to side. Feeling nice and open through the hips from all that heat you generated through class. Good, and we'll bring our knees in and gently rock them to the right for a gentle twist. And knees up, we'll rock them to the left. And bring your knees up, and we'll move into our final resting pose, Shavasana. So allow your feet to go as wide as your mat. Palms will remain open, arms away from your body, really taking up space here, chest nice and open, and close down your eyes. And just give yourself just 2 minutes. Okay, you can obviously stay here longer, but I know the temptation to pause the video now or move on to your next thing, but so important to take these times throughout your day to rest and restore. Feel free to stay here as long as you like. Otherwise, gently wiggle your fingers and toes. On your next inhale, stretch your arms up, point through your feet, bend your knees and roll to your right side. And push yourselves up to a seated posture. And take just a moment here to elongate your spine. Eyes can remain closed. We'll bring our hands to heart center in gratitude of our practice today. Take a deep inhale in, and exhale, we bow in. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this class. Feel free to revisit it from time to time to give yourself a break off those wrists and shoulders and build more strength and stability in your legs. I get a lot of comments and questions about how to do certain poses, and I know you all are practicing at home and you're not sure what to do, and I cannot recommend enough taking or considering my online 200-hour yoga teacher training. It's where I break down the entire yoga practice. I'll go through all of the foundational yoga poses through intermediate level, but you're also going to learn about the history of yoga, anatomy, and apply it to the yoga poses, how to breathe, yoga philosophy, meditation, and so much more. I want you to click the link in the description box and take a good look at my 200-hour online yoga teacher training. I'll see you in the next video.